We were delighted to host Professor David Sines, leading national expert on the new licensing scheme and chair of the Joint Council for Cosmetic Practitioners. David explains the timings of the government's consultation into non-surgical cosmetic procedures and the new regulations to be introduced.
Put it into very simple terms. Here's the first consultation. It's great. It's there. We like it. I think it's right. It's robust. That closes on the 28th of October this year. So there will be significant work then to review, reflect, inform the next stage of the government's consultation plan. There then will be significant work in 2024 on starting to review the standards that need to underpin those. That will then inform education and training responses, etc., competence development. That will run, I'm convinced, throughout 2024 and probably into 2025. Another consultation then, I think, to say it's what we think. I can't see why there wouldn't be. So that takes us then within 1 year of implementation, where in the meantime we've got to work to design the scheme of licensing, preparing environmental health officers with the knowledge, the skills, and providing them with operating manuals and guidance on how to actually put this licensing scheme into place. So implementation, I reckon, sometime during early to mid 2026. Just prior to it coming in, though, the government has to take its proposals back to Parliament, both houses. I'm not suggesting a major debate, but there is a requirement to have them formally endorsed by Parliament. Then there will be an implementation date, 2026, with, I guess, that 2-year period of enabling and implementation thereafter. We're now in an amazing place, I think, with the consultation launch, but it's almost the beginning of the next phase, to be honest, because the standards have got to be written. We've got to get consensus on the consultation, so more to do. I'm asked that question every day. I think it's an important question to be ethically sound and to be fair to practitioners, to say until the new standard is actually defined, there is no current qualification that we can guarantee would meet the new standard. I think that speaks for itself. But I would say that anybody who's undertaking a university-based postgraduate course in aesthetic medicine or aesthetic science, or any postgraduate program, any Ofqual accredited program that, such as those that the JCCP recognises, you've got to be on your way towards the new qualification. There might be some requirements for top-up learning, but that's the very best we can say. What I do know is that it's just not sensible to go out and be almost seduced into taking rapid responses for 3-day courses, or you've got to do this in 3 weeks. If anybody tells you their course will meet the new standard, they are not being truthful, because we do not know the new standard yet. But stay firm, watch very carefully, but I would say if you have the opportunity to undertake an Ofqual approved program at the moment, then it's sensible, but it's not assured. Similarly, any of the JCCP approved training providers and the qualifications, they're on our website. I don't want to name them publicly. It's not appropriate to do that. But I would say you will certainly be able to confirm evidence to complying with the HEE standards and the JCCP standards, which build on those. So pretty strong, I think, baseline to work from towards the new standards. Start now. I mean, engaging with the consultation, providing opinion individually and through groups, network groups, professional groups, membership groups, crucial. So one could not argue, or I would say you cannot in any way reduce the importance of that impact of voice at the moment. Influence it. Stand up, I think, and be very clear about your professional standards and what you believe, because at the primacy of all you do is patient safety and public protection. So the more you can demonstrate that, clearly you're going to put yourself ethically and professionally in a very good place, ready for the new licence. I think the other thing is to report your complications openly, because that, again, is a very good indicator of excellent practice. And there's nothing wrong with reporting reporting complications. It's when you don't report and get into this very negative state of failing to exercise your duty of candour. So that's a public protection part, I think, is really important to be true to, almost renewing your energy in that space. Attending webinars, attending conferences and discussion groups to keep the conversation going, because people will be listening. We've got to develop the standards that are realistic, but also they have to be proportionate to managing patient expectation and risk of emotional, psychological or physical challenge. But you know what? There's a lot to celebrate. So the other part is to be positive and to say, I know I do my job well. Members of the public tell me I do my job well. Well, that's great. All we're doing is to bring in another layer of public protection so that we can manage out unacceptable or unwarranted variation in standards of quality. So we should all be trying to do that. Everyone needs an individual response, but we must not in any way defend unwarranted variation where public safety is compromised. So it's all of that, but in the meantime, it's watching this space, and the minute the standards are available, to then map your experience onto those, and we hope by then to have some flexible routes to demonstrate compliance and compliance, but also how you can demonstrate you've mapped your own experience and knowledge against those standards. Where the gaps are, by then, that gap analysis should allow us, well before the time, to get some of those actual learning experiences built into your portfolio, and keep a portfolio of evidence of what you have over the next 2 years. We're all in this for public protection and patient safety. If we're not healthcare professionals, then why are we doing this? I think that's the first thing. It's part of our raison d'etre, and it's actually and it's really important that we focus on that. But I think we should remain positive. I really do. So there will be things to do. There will be some challenges ahead. But you know, once you have that license, and it's above the door, you are absolutely, clearly and firmly and legitimately open for continuing business that will be future-proofed. So the effort is worth putting in place, because your license will tell you and members of the public and those who work with you that you have not only met the standard, that you're proud and willing to celebrate your success together. So I think be resilient, be firm, but be curious. That is my last point. Be curious, not too challenged or frightened, but remain curious about the importance of the message and keep on message.